I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I can't hear you. There you are.
you sound amazing. Hey, are you calling me from like Stallone's? Where are you right now?
Dude, this is my dojo.
I love it.
Um, I actually it's funny, let's drink beer.
Wait,
So
tell me what you got. I need the whole.
so this the whole boxing deal was when I first bought this house. I'm like, oh, it'll be cool to have a fucking like a boxing gym in my office because I go boxing.
Right.
And I bought all this shit and had it installed and never fucking used it because I'm always at the boxing gym, so I don't ever work out here. Serendipitously, this COVID shit came around, and so now I'm actually using it because you can't go to the fucking gym.
You might be the first person to use serendipitous with COVID.
True. Yeah. Hey, you got to find a silver lining.
Hey, by the way, thanks to our sponsor, Recess. Cheers.
What's that? Is that a cheers, brother? How you doing? How's the kiddo? How's the wife?
I'm gonna tell you. I know you're a fan of the show, 1 of 15. You're being recorded. Is that okay with you?
Oh yes, yeah,
Good.
Yeah. You got to let me know. It's it's a two-party state, so you got to let me know. Even though I don't know if it's what the Georgia may not be, so you can probably get away with it.
Listen, I'm not an attorney, but after I finish this recess, hemp extract calms the mind, centers the body. Ginseng to help me focus and enhance memory.
I take that shit too. I can do anything I can, man. I've got.
What was I talking about?
That's funny. I was talking to a buddy. It might have been because I was stoned, or it might be because I'm old. But I literally prefaced the conversation with a statement, and then I concluded it with the same statement, asking if I asked that same thing or I told him about it. And he's like, "Yeah, you just fucking told me that, man."
Well, listen. First of all, what are you drinking?
I am drinking Boda Zafa.
I just went like this to see if I could see it better.
Yeah. Boda Zafa. This is IPA, local Georgetown brewery. The guy named Manny, who has his own beer named after it, has a Manny can as well. He's a huge Point Break fan. So Boda Zafa, he's got a Johnny Utah.
Yeah.
So you get the thing.
I like it.
Yeah, and it's really freaking
Do they
good.
Interestingly, do they have a Gary?
Yeah, they don't. They don't have a Gary. They should. But you know what I've got here is this. You can see what the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know that joint.
There it is.
I think we were.
Sister to the Mousetrap out in LA. So, Dimler. I guess people don't, I mean, I know who you are. Justin Dimler.
Yes.
I'm going to go with Dimler.
All right, go.
Only because I've been calling you Dimler for 25 years. Actually, more than that. 28 years, dude.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Your hot tub, Tucson, magical combination, man.
That might be a little bit more, commentary. It was a beautiful night. Actually, afternoon, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, it was. It was an afternoon that turned into a night.
Isn't it a little? So these little shows, you were saying, started with the whole coronavirus, rudely interrupting everyone's conversation and us coming back. But now, with race riots and all the other issues, coronavirus is over.
Yeah.
So I don't know what this show is about anymore.
Yeah. Well, it could come back.
Yeah, well, I think that it's still relevant in my mind, but I've had a couple of topics. I have prepared precisely nothing for this chat.
Good. We'll
Yeah,
just spitball. We're just catching up. It's been a long time.
yeah, it has.
Yeah.
Um, we've got we've got a lot to touch on though.
Unpack.
We've got a lot to unpack here. I was thinking though, kind of a little bit 10 minutes ago or whatever, we could talk about Arizona because Arizona is an enigma to a lot of people. And you grew up there.
Yep.
What was that like?
So, well, I was just there too, by the way. So I just snuck down there under the cover of night, and literally under the cover of night, didn't tell anybody about it. And well, the people that I were going to see knew, but and then Nathan Tennis, you know Tennis.
Oh yeah.
So, and he's recently divorced, so he's just really just ratcheted up his piece of shit factor. So,
watching.
yeah, exactly. He's like, just come down, and he's like, I'm kind of blowing off work because I'm just getting ready to quit, and I'm going to take another job, so I'm just kind of like mailing it in, but I'll just take the week off if you come down. So I went down, and we hung out. We got after it. And we decided to rent a casino house. I don't know if I sent you a picture. So we rented a casino house in Scottsdale. And
I don't even know what that means.
So, well, it has like downstairs, it has a craps table, a roulette table, a blackjack table, a poker table. Yeah,
okay,
anything that.
I thought you were talking about renting a house overlooking a casino, like a lake house.
No. A house with a casino in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so we rented that house and we had everybody come. Everybody showed up with their masks and their gloves. And then they quickly realized we didn't give a shit. So they took all that off. And so, we turned it up for a couple of days.
The gambling really began when the mask came off. I think people are getting the point. Like, you flew down from Seattle to Arizona to gamble in a basement with your degenerate friends.
Well, you spent time in Arizona. You know it's an interesting place. The people that I'm friends with in Arizona, it's interesting, and it's an interesting question because the guys that I'm friends with, like Nathan's one of them, and that I've known him since freshman year in high school. And then obviously Chris, who we're mutual friends with and lives in Atlanta, I've known him since 6th grade. Same with Freeman. And you just you pick those people up. You don't ever lose people. I guess that's the way of putting it. You're just aggregating. You never shed. They just stay with you as you go along, basically. So I don't know if it's Arizona that I like so much or it's just the friends that I've made there.
The way I've described it is it's like landing on Mars in this country. It's like the way that people behave, and the landscape. And like, you're a great example of this. You're one of my favorite people. You are a juxtaposition. You are renting casino houses and charging your friends to deal, and at the same time, a perfectly upstanding member of society.
It's that Jungian thing, dude. It's the whole duality of man.
How'd you do it? I think people want to know, how were you able to do it?
I am not trying to be 100% perfect or good. I'm just trying to be 60%. So I want, when the books get opened up, I want to be more good than bad. And I think if you live your life that way, I think you'll be happy, because people try to live their life like a zero-sum game. It's not sustainable. And eventually you end up like guys like Tiger Woods, who find out you're flawed. And then that's actually when the flaws are when people become human necessarily. Right. So, so yes, I am two sides for sure. Yeah.
No, I think
I managed to hold a job. That's for sure.
That's a thing. I think like you defined it, you're perfectly human. Now you happen to be also exceptionally bright, which helps.
Yeah.
because
Well,
I'm not sure if you scored a 7 on the SAT that you'd still be at 60%.
Totally. By the way, they're scuttling that whole deal. That's getting blown the fuck out. They're not going to be, the SATs are going bye-bye.
Well, because something kind of funny about that, had the SAT gone bye-bye prior to my taking it, we wouldn't have met because I would have been able to get into somewhere better than Arizona.
Yeah. and if the SAT didn't exist, I probably wouldn't have gotten to college either because my high school scores were so poor.
Mine were good enough, but I am terrible at the standardized test. I am glad that it's gone because, like, not to get like too deep too early in the show, but the people who cannot afford it or the people who are not exposed to it, I was not in either of those, so I really don't have an excuse except
yeah, what's your fucking excuse?
I don't have one, but they're at a disadvantage because
sure.
I didn't break $1,000 and I had the tutor.
Right. Totally.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, it is an archaic way to measure aptitude, I think. That's for sure. And I think that, and that's why it's going away, right? I mean, altogether. I mean, at some point, you're going to be punting on grades, too. I mean, it's just whether or not your ability to stay focused. But, I mean, it's an interesting thing. There's so many weird things going on right now. It's just nuts.
Listen, before I forget, you got to go hit that bag. Just for the folks.
Do you want me to hit the speed bag?
Yeah, hit the speed bag. Look at this guy. Yes. Yeah.
There you go.
I love it.
It's not just a prop.
Did you know that I promoted, I think it was like 9 boxing events here?
I remember that. You were like, that's some seedy ass shit, man.
Well, the funny part about that, one, I love boxing like you do, and that was impressive, by the way. I couldn't do that. I love the sport. I'm not on the bag, but the boxing was technically promoted by this guy named Michael Morrison. The promoter is the one that brings the fight together. I did the promotion through my marketing firm at the time. He got into boxing to legitimize himself.
Was he a fucking drug dealer before?
Actually, a bank robber and a porn chain owner.
Oh.
And you'll love this. You remember this will like set the time frame for you. It was that time in the workplace where everyone's outgoing message was, "Hey, this is Justin. I'm either on the other line or away from my desk at the moment." Okay. His was, "Hey, this is Michael. I'm either on the other line or in jail at the moment."
I remember you telling me about doing that, and I remember you were engaged in it. It was just the most interesting individuals that you dealt with on a weekly basis, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, I mean, Jake LaMotta, he was a piece of dog shit. I can say that right now. They didn't make that movie for nothing. But then I got to meet like some wonderful people like Carmen Basilio, and he fought Sugar Ray Robinson.
Oh wow!
And we went to dinner, and he was great. Met Jimmy Lennon Jr. We did like kind of a like celebrity type thing. So we flew the fridge in. I mean, it was amazing. Oh, and I know this. You're the guest. let me have a moment of fun.
Let me tell you a little something about myself.
Let's talk about you. Let me tell you something about me for a moment. This is true. Night 1, okay, and it was like the 3rd Thursday of each month. The first event ever, and it was at the Roxy Theater here in Atlanta. And the doors were going to open at 6, and then kind of the action started at 7. So I got there at 5 to meet my client, who was in a fist fight in the street with his partner. That's how it started. Incredible. But anyway, more about you.
Somehow you didn't stay in that business for some reason. Didn't take.
No, but I met this amazing guy named Greg Darling, and he died in November of 2019. And like you meet certain people, and you've unfortunately, had some big losses over the last couple of years too with dear friends, which I'm comfortable talking about if you are. Greg was like one of these amazing people, and we were partners. We worked together for Michael to do this thing, and he was this black guy. He grew up in the tough side of Miami during the 70s and 80s when it was like real rough, and he had traveled around and lived in Hawaii, and I mean he was amazing, and I learned a lot about life from him. And so like that boxing was fun, but it was also like a huge addition through like a great friendship. But he would always he was real, which is another thing that I like about you. That's the last thing I'm gonna say that I like about you. I like real people, and he was real.
Well, we lost another Greg a couple years ago too, didn't we? I texted his ex-wife this morning just to check in to see how things are going with her and Kaylin. But yeah, it sucks, man. That's what happens when you get older. I mean, and not that losing him was germane to getting old, but that's what happens, right?
Yeah. Well, Greg Wilbrick. I mean, so I met you two on the same day, and
that's right. Oh shit! What a day!
He fell off. Tell the people if I'm making this up. Fell off of a roof onto a concrete bench. Broke the bench.
Yeah, broke the bench. Went through the fucking bench. Broke the bench. People were, I think at the time that was at the Fiji house, right? And people were shooting hoops, high on drugs.
Yep.
High on drugs and shooting hoops. Yeah. And then all of a sudden 6'5", 6'6", 250 comes flying through the air. And he was talking to some gal. On the roof. And he was like, whatever, babbling like he always does, and takes one step off the fucking roof and boom.
I mean,
and just imagine just shooting hoops, and all of a sudden, bam, this mass of humanity goes through the back.
It was crazy. But, it's kind of funny, like getting back to what you were saying about growing up in Arizona and this, like, it's the movable feast of friends.
Yeah.
That guy was a friend from minute one to me. And from what I could tell, he was a friend to anyone he met.
Right.
And I know you had a real close friendship with him, and that's tough.
Yeah. It is difficult. It's you get older, and like I said, you lose things, period, I think. You lose abilities, you lose friends, you lose all sorts of shit. And that's age, man. It fucking.
By the way, I'm about to lose my right to sleep in the house for waking up the family, so I'm gonna move.
Oh, did she just tell you to beat it?
Yeah.
She's like,
and here we go. Hey.
Oh, down to the cave?
I'll give you a little tour. We got a nice little.
I've never been to your house.
I know you.
Or not this house.
This is a relatively new one, about a year, and Henio did a nice little New Orleans style garden.
Oh, look at that
back here.
That's got like a New Orleans feel to it, dude. That's sweet. Yeah. So that's legit.
But anyway, I had to come down here so I don't get a divorce and end up in a casino house.
I'm sure. Yeah, we got a spot for you. Don't worry.
But I don't want to take away from that moment about Greg, because it is part of like life. And growing up in New Orleans and living there, like it's a place where death is very much a part of life, very conspicuous with the mausoleums, and it's celebrated and all that. doesn't make it really any easier. And it's at any age when someone's really close to you, it's hard. And I was I was touched about that loss for you specifically.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. So I spoke at his funeral. I took a Xanax the size of John Holmes' dick right before I walked up there because I wasn't drinking.
You took a 16-inch Xanax?
And but anyway, after I spoke, his mom came up and said, "Thank you so much. It was beautiful." Everybody was laughing. So I don't know if that was the only person who wasn't pleased was the priest, but everyone else appreciated it. So fuck him.
I had this year, so I'm 47 now. You're probably what, 45?
45. Yeah.
45. And it was when I was 43. And I had like 5 friends around my age or our age die within that year. And that's when I had what I call my midlife awareness. And I called this friend in New Orleans and I told him that, and he's like, I'm having a full-blown crisis right now. But it's when you have like turning point moments like that, or like, losing Walbrook, or, just big moments, and they're at a certain time in your life, and then you realize like, all right, this is where I am now. What am I going to do with the rest of my life?
Right.
Yeah.
Time is fleeting. So it puts things in perspective, doesn't it? It really does. I mean, it's, and it actually, I mean, and you and I aren't going through anything unique, which is the unfortunate thing, right? So,
right.
So it's about midlife crisis is an interesting term if you think about it, because the reality is it's just more like midlife epiphany.
That's why I'm calling it awareness. I think it's better. The midlife crisis is nothing new. It's been happening since people were born.
Yeah. It just started earlier back in the day.
Yeah.
You had it in your 20s. Now we're having it in our 40s. We're lucky.
All right, this is just for fun and bullshit. What do you think the midlife crisis was for like a caveman? Like, I'm 9. I've got to get my shit together.
Yeah.
/ I'm gonna go out and get a new spear.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a new spear. I'm gonna kill a new dinosaur or whatever it is. Yeah. Kill a new woolly mammoth. Yeah, I don't know. And nobody really talks about it, but it obviously is a good conversation, because especially since we're age appropriate. But yeah, at that midlife age, there is just what have I done with my life? Am I doing the right thing? Should I make a change? Introspective. I don't know if I think the answer is different for everybody. I think you should do what makes you happy, because the rest of the days aren't promised. So you should live the life that you want to lead, because the reality is, tomorrow is not a guarantee. And the worst thing is regret. And I think you and I have had this conversation before, but if we haven't, we're going to have it now. And, what I do, especially given the last couple of years, is I don't ever leave a conversation with a friend or somebody I care about without telling them how I feel about them, because I just don't know when I'm going to get an opportunity to talk to them again.
Right.
So, not to be morbid or anything like that.
No, but it's just true. And like, again, coronavirus has taught us this, if we're paying attention, like, you don't know the first time or last time you're going to do anything.
Right.
Oh, when's the next time I'm going to, go to a restaurant?
Right. That may be a while.
Yeah. That type of thing. It's like, you don't think, oh, I'm not going to go to a restaurant for maybe, the next 5 months or ever again, or whatever it is. Anyway, On a lighter note, you mentioned Freeman, you mentioned Kid.
Yes.
Two of your best friends.
Yes.
And they both have like, should probably call, can we dial them in on this? Can we do a total phone? But I mean, they have some major life changes. Freeman has 9, like, Cocker Spaniels or Golden Doodles or whatever it is. Kid has a kid.
There you go. I like the correlation. They're very similar. Yeah.
What's your take? You know them. I mean, I love them. They're your, best friends. What's going on with them? I need to.
Freeman is still, barricaded over in West Seattle. He lives kind of far away. Well, not far away from me, but it's like an isolated location. So, so he's still, plugging away and doing his thing. I think he's good, or as good as he can be.
I love it.
And height, I mean, you've known him long enough to know that seeing him with a kid is pretty friggin' hilarious.
And awesome. He's good. He's good, man. I can't wait for you to get down here.
Yeah. I know. I told him. I'm like, I can't wait to get down. He seemed super happy. I remember he told me that he's like, it's the most difficult thing I've ever done and the most rewarding thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
So that sounds pretty awesome. That kid is fucking cute, man.
Very cute. It's fun to see him. So like he'll be holding her and, saying, oh, like, it's okay. Or, that type of thing. And he'll be like, so, Kansas, let me tell you about this new wine I'm making. It's cool.
Yeah, they're super stoked. So that's awesome. Yeah, that's a good deal. Good for them.
Right. Well, and this is a little bit off the topic, but this is going to look, when we post it, like a poorly dubbed film. And I might add subtitles to it.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
Do you remember Hank's Malibu pad?
I do. Your audio is move up on audio. There you go.
Let me see if my wife will let me back into the good part of the internet. Hold on.
You making a run?
Babes?
There you go. I can hear you well now.
Am I allowed into the house? I've got 15 seconds of this. You go ahead and talk.
I'll filibuster. So, well, we already talked about the time that we met, the first time we met. I could tell the story about how, there's a bunch of stories we probably shouldn't tell, I guess, huh?
We'll keep it.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot that tool. This isn't just live streaming. That's right.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of shit that we can do. You're going to dub out a lot of the profanity then too, right?
No.
Where are you posting this anyways?
YouTube.
Oh, YouTube. Are you really?
Yeah. Are you good?
How many have you done?
I have done, this is the, I think 7th or 8th, but I've only put up 3 so far.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I think you'd like the most recent one, because it's with a friend who, his name's Greg Alterman. And he started a t-shirt company out of the trunk of his car that became Alternative Apparel and sold it to Hanes, and now he lives in Malibu.
Okay, I think I met him before. You and I talked about him before, yeah.
And he sold it to Hanes. They did great. And now he told me that on the show that he's decided to become a hairstylist.
Fuck yes.
And I believe him.
Like shampoo, dude? Like that's awesome.
So we're back.
That's awesome. Yeah. All right. I've got to see that one then. So what's going on in Atlanta right now? They're all open, ready to go, and just full steam ahead, full COVID ahead.
Honestly, like, I'm kidding around about Corona being over, but the obvious, like, big headline topic problem is about police brutality and race issues, and being that Atlanta is, the civil rights capital, and also um, a city that has a lot of people, and a lot of them are younger and they're pissed and are willing to do something, and a large African American demographic, and a media center and all that other stuff. It's hot.
Yeah.
Like there, and it's also like moving. Like, so this afternoon, in front of um, our office, which is in Sweet Auburn, which is where Martin Luther King was born and the civil rights movement was born, there was a very peaceful, nice protest of probably like 400 or 500 people. And there was a lot of security and a lot of police presence, but more in this like chaperoning type of way. I don't know. I'll probably get like kicked off of YouTube because I didn't say it the right way.
That son of a bitch say chaperone?
Yeah. But then I went and I was driving to the west side of Midtown and passed by Centennial Park, and it was a whole different scene. SWAT teams, National Guard, angry, kind of, this doesn't seem safe. I prefer the peaceful protest. I can see how like the attention of like the destruction and the fear has like helped push forward the conversation rapidly. But I'd prefer to have people talk and work together and come together.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, right now, last night here, you know, there's been a curfew in place all week, or since Monday, just all week. And they lifted the curfew last night under the behest of, you know, community leaders specifying that you're just exacerbating the situation by sending people home at 11 or 9 or whatever the hell the night is. The time is. Right. So they've lifted it. There isn't a curfew here anymore. So
I haven't had a curfew since '86.
I haven't had a curfew. I don't think I've never had one I adhered to. That's for sure. But
that's funny. So it's a first.
Yeah. So it's a first. But that's funny. Yeah, I think the last time.
Yeah, this just came up. Can you see that?
Yeah. Go to bed. Yeah, I'm getting that shit too. Go ahead.
Sorry. This says, all right, so please stay at home, basically. And then it says exceptions apply to people seeking medical help, working, first responders, and homeless. The funny, kind of not funny thing about that is that like a lot of people without a home have phones. Like they're actually getting this, but where are they? I think it's insensitive for them to say, please stay home, except for the homeless.
Yeah. If you don't have a home, you don't have to stay there.
Yeah. It's rude. Anyway, sorry, go ahead. I rudely.
No, they lifted the curfew here. Last night was the first night since Monday that the conclusion of the evening did not end with, you know, flash bombs and pepper spray. So, you know, I guess I'll take that over loitering over that. So yeah, I mean, they were out at over, like I said, about 1.5 miles, 2 miles up the street. And they posted up in the park, Cal Anderson Park, which is up that way, till they were there all night into the morning. And then I guess they cleaned up this morning. At least that's what they.
It's wild. I mean, you know, I on one hand, and I've been hearing this a lot. I don't know if you have. There are a lot of people saying, like, you know, can you believe that we're experiencing this during our lifetime? And like, I think in some ways that's good. Like we're getting to see a lot, and hopefully there's a lot of silver linings and progress and all that good stuff made. On the other hand, like, have you ever read about, I don't know, like when Roosevelt was president? Like, yeah, we're seeing a lot. I think, you know, if you live long enough, you're going to see a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, that's yes. That's one of the badges that you glue on your arm.
Yeah, like
you get to see a lot. The longer you live, you lose a lot of people. The longer you live, you see a lot of weird shit. The longer you live, how it works. Time goes faster the longer you live. All of those things are a byproduct of longevity, I guess.
Speaking of which, this show's gone fast. It's a 25-minute show, and we've been talking about 51 minutes. So
well, we didn't touch on any of the stuff that probably would really get the wife's eyebrow raised. So you should be all right.
I think we did well, and also I like that this show's like you can have like real conversations and fun, kind of nostalgic conversations, and also be an adult and be, of the age. I think we've done well. I'm gonna give us an A.
Grading on a curve. Well, you've only posted 3, so we'll take it. The one I saw was awesome, so I'll look up the other ones. So I should be out your way at some point this year, man, or it might be beginning of next. But we'll definitely get together and grab some drinks. And
I like it. I love catching up. Let's do it again soon. And love to you and the whole fam. And
yeah, Let's Do It Again by Jay Booth on Amazon Music.
Alexa, stop. You triggered Alexa. She started singing a song for you because you said let's do it again. So
Alexa, put on Dimler's favorite dance song.
Oh, God, there isn't one. She just fucking closed. She just turned off, dude. No, but and in closing, you are a unique human being, and I love you. And I'm glad things are going well. I'm glad you're happy with the wife and kiddo. And stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. That means a lot. Love you too, man.
All right. See you.
Goodbye.